Motor Speedway. They're lean, they're mean, they're 5 to 7 horses, a man and machine. They're 4 wide before they start to slip and slide. The Coast to Coast Racing League 350A Modifieds, Pro Late Models, and the 360 Sprint Cars.
Quiet, almost too quiet here at the Volusia Speedway. Guys still filing in here, I believe. Well, Jeff Parker, he may have gotten in a little bit ago, yet to put in a time in that 5:13. As here they are, they're going to advance in. Tried to hold up a little bit today. If you're here in the States, you know what today is, voting day. So a couple guys short here in this first one. A couple West Coasters probably still at the polls, but hopefully we'll see a little bit more here in the second go around when we take the Delaras at Charlotte. But here, we're here for round one thanks to Maurer Farm Management here. The 358s at Volusia Speedway. And real quick before these guys go, Terry Landis, your current points leader. Greg Boydell behind him, 26 points back. But Terry not here tonight, so not sure how the drop weeks will work, how many they will have in the retread series, but probably going to leave here with a new points leader this evening on the dirt side of things here as we get ready for heat race number 1. And we're going to bring up that starting grid here real quick. Kelly Wheeler on the pole and is outside the mayor. Steve Bixler, John Rayner in the 302 to the inside, and Gary Singletown is dancing hard on the high side. Greg Parmalee to the inside of row 3, and to his outside in the 007, Michael Vecchio. Or Justified Vecchio, excuse me. I'm so used to saying that. As we roll through turn 4, we're going to see the green flag. It's high. It's ready to fly. Let's take the green flag here for heat race number 1 at Volusia Speedway. Kelly Wheeler got to be your favorite to win tonight, especially to start on that front row, man. Always a top dog here in that 110, and Steve Bixler doing what he can to keep with it for now, but the battle on for third here. You see John Rayner trying to get to the inside of Gary Singletown, but Gary running that top line. Man, we got a warm track. Looks like he's going to be upstairs. Tough to pass here as we look out. They think about going 3 wide as Steve Bixler tries that diamond line. He's trying to run down your leader, Kelly Wheeler. Not having much luck right now. Let's go on board with the 75. Steve Bixler going to follow him this time. Turns a little bit late. You see him, he has to jerk that thing sideways. Not exactly what you want to do there, but not going to kill you. It's just, you're not going to be as smooth as the guy in front of you is. Battling behind here, Greg Parmalee tries to hold off the 302 of John Rayner. This is 5th and 6th, 3rd and 4th, still getting it on as well. Justified, Vecchio trying to get to the inside of the 25. No luck now. Gary Singletown just too fast here through 1 and 2 on that high side, but white flag in the air. Final time around for Kelly Wheeler out front, who has just been lights out in the 110. 2.5 lead through 6 laps here as the 110 rolls through 3 and 4. The checkered flag's waving, and Kelly Wheeler brings home heat race number 1, followed by Steve Bixler, Gary Singletown, Justified Vecchio, Greg Parmalee, and John Rayner for heat race number 1. We'll bring up the starting grid here for heat race number 2. Starting on the pole in the 513, the Brewerton Beast, Jeff Barker. And to his outside, the librarian, Pat Boyce. Greg Boydell to the inside of row number 3. And to his outside in the 7, Bob DeGood. Rounding out the field this evening in the 531, this is Armando Melgoza. Brewerton Beast in that red and yellow machine puts around in the basement. He's going to be thinking, how quick can I get upstairs? I haven't seen the bottom work. I know he likes to try to make it work, but man, not easy. And here I see him try to refresh. What we have going on over here is our overlays merged up, and it looks like it does fix out. Well, we're going to go around one more time here for heat race number 2. If you're out there watching, let us know who you're rooting for this evening. And if you're interested in racing, well, you got to be over the age of 55 to race here in the C2C retreads. My dad, who may see in the asphalt race, is done, voted, and home by now. Probably should. It's definitely a great league. The guys are awesome. They treat each other with the utmost respect. That's literally the only way they're allowed to be in here. So you're guaranteed good racing 9 out of 10 nights here. As the green flag is high, it's ready to fly. 6 laps for heat race number 2. Greg Boydell with a great start there behind the 513, but momentum to the top shelf. And here comes the librarian taking the field to school. Jeff Barker not able to slot up. He gets a shot from Greg Boydell. We saw the whole thing. He goes around, and Jeff Barker, well, he may remember that here come feature time. It's the battle for second heats up once again. Bob DeGood tries to get a run on the 014. Bob Counters down, gets a good run in the middle of the corner, but it's not what he'd like yet. Greg Boydell really sends it in there, gets the drive through the center of the corner. Let's see if the 7 can try to run him back down. Right now, advantage 0-14 of GJ Boydell in the slider line. He's making it work right now. Not as fast as your leader in the 0-41, but not too shabby for Greg Boydell as he is slowly ticking in to the leader here, but now he goes back upstairs and unfamiliar with that territory. He's been so comfortable running the slider line. He loses some time, and now you see the 7 of Bob the Good start to creep back in. Armando Melgoza behind him comfortably, just holding on to that 4th place position as we see the white flag in the air. The Librarian comes around, one more trip around Volusia Speedway. The PBR machine, he looks hot, looks good right now. He's going to have to go in and cool off after heat race number 2. Crack a cold one as the checkered flag waves. The Librarian takes heat race number 2. Greg Boydell 2nd, Bob DeGood 3rd, Armando Melgoza 4th. And you see him coming around after the unfortunate mishap. For Jeff Barker, he is going to round out the field in heat race number 2. And with that, we're going to take a quick break here on the Coast to Coast Racing Network, and we will be right back with your first feature of the evening here at the Volusia Speedway. Stick around. We're back on the Coast to Coast Racing Network. You see right now the 014 of GJ Boydell currently at the top of the speed charts here. Not a huge gap between drivers. Jeff Barker currently P5. Remember, he got tagged there. Gonna have to come from the back. So big hill to climb for the 513. And well, Butters, I saw what you said, and depending on how today goes, that may work. I don't know, but we'll see. And, right now, you know, not gonna work. But I see you took the bad luck from me. You were rooting for Barker there, and you stole the commentator's curse. You cursed Barker. We're gonna blame you, Butters. We're gonna blame you tonight. But thanks for tuning in here, man. We appreciate it as always. It looks like the checkered flag is gonna wave on warm-ups, and we are gonna get ready to roll into tonight's first feature presented by Mauer Farm Management. And as soon as we get this grid, here we go. Just waiting for the session to fully roll over, and Well, we're going to read you off that starting lineup here. Starting on the pole in the 110. He's got to be minus 500 on the betting. I mean, this guy's got to be the favorite here, the 110. But to his outside, the librarian, Pat Boyce in the 41. The mare, Steve Bixler, to the inside of row number 4. And to his outside in the 014, GJ Boydell. Gary Singelkow in the 25 to the inside of row number 3. And to his outside, the 7 of Bob DeGood. Justified Vecchio to the inside of row number 4. And to his outside in the 531, Armando Melgoza. Greg Parmalee to the inside of row 5. And to his outside, the Brewerton Beast, Jeff Barker. Rounding out the field in the 302. We've got John Rayner here this evening. Shouldn't be any hurry here to go green. We should go around one more time, I would think. Pace around here. Yeah, the pace car is going to stay on. I assumed it would. Give Shaggy enough time to realize that I had the standings down, so we'll bring them back up, make everything right in the world. This will be the final pace lap around here as we roll through 1 and 2. Kelly Wheeler will be set to bring us to the green flag, the 41 of Pat Boyce. Just got to hook on that rod, try to reel him in and hang on, because that 110, he is about to drop the hammer here as we see the green flag is high. It's ready to fly. 25 laps at the Volusia Speedway. Let's go. Play in the clay. 358 modifieds. Let's go. Kelly Wheeler with a big send right away. Knows he's got to shut that door on the top shelf. Pat Boyce tries to get a good run here. Is beating and banging throughout the back. 2 wide. Jeff Barker sends it in the middle. 3 wide. He's got Armando to his outside. John Rayner to the inside. Trying to make it work. John Rayner gets a little contact out of that. He goes for a little slide. There, Steve Bixler up in P4, trying to make the inside work, but really tough to do that. Already down one spot. You got to think he's going to lose another one here to the 7 of Bob DeGood, but the 25 of Gary Singelkow loops around. No caution just yet as we roll on. But Justified Vecchio, he misses the right front, and you got to think. You know, it all stems back to he was in the original contact here. Let's try to go to the Chapman Racing drone camera. That is not the one we wanted. This is the one we want. Gets into the back of Gary Singelkow. Gets into the outside wall, comes back down. Bounces with Greg Parmalee, gets back into that outside wall, and loses the right front. Tough break here, but it's going to happen. You know, drivers getting that close here, battling early. Mistakes are going to be made, and Gary Singelkow pays for that. Around here, let's see. No, the lights are still on the pace car, I believe. Yeah, they are. So, no one to go yet. Still going to roll around here. Caution. Another lap or so. See drivers start to double line up here, double file. Kelly Wheeler's going to choose that inside line. And we take the green flag here. We're going to have 22 laps to go at Volusia Speedway. So plenty of time here. You're in no rush. But this man here, he is kind of in a rush. Jeff Barker knows it's not going to be easy. He had a quick car. He wants to get up to the front. It's the battle for this lead here. Arguably the best dirt car for the 513. I mean, very good at this one. Something else in these 358s in the big blocks. But as we roll through 3 and 4, the green flag is high. It's ready to fly. Restart number 1, and Kelly Wheeler nails it in the 110. We're back underway. Gary Siggelkow comes off of pit road at a dangerous time here, going to re-enter, and the leaders all around him. So Gary here got to be smart. You don't want to make a mistake here in the retreads. They give everyone their lead. You know, they let you get back on the lead lap. So at this point, you know, this is maybe where you want to let guys, you know, go around. But Greg Boydell, he has to check up. And then he gets slammed pretty good, hard into the wall in the 014. Oh, man, Greg is not going to be a happy camper here as we continue on. Kelly Wheeler marching away out in front. Let's watch him drive through 3 and 4. Everyone pretty much entering that top shelf. Greg Boydell, the first person to try the bottom. Pretty much out of necessity here, but he goes up, shuts the door on the 75 for Harrison Dixon. Trying to go that 1 lane higher here. He's not able to get the front, not enough motor in the 315 for now. Up to good. Started 6th, up to 3rd. He's got his good friend behind him in that 513. Jeff wants that podium, but man, Bob ain't gonna make it easy here. Jeff, I told you, keep an eye on him. He was gonna move up through the field, and that 302's been watching the 513 move on up the field because he started right behind him, and he's followed him one up. John Rader started 11th up to 10th, also up 6 spots. Those are your big movers here. Is Pat Boyce able to just, you know, keep his sights on your leader here in the 110, but not really able to go to work, not able to feel anything. The lap times, let's watch the last couple of laps here. So, Pat, that actually was quicker that last lap than the leader, but it's not going to matter. He's going to catch up. Caution out on the racetrack. Not too sure who's involved in this. So let's see here. Possibly Armando Melgoza. Let's see here. Gets a little sideways in 1 and 2. Pulls to the inside, just trying to tow, and it's enough to bring out a caution. Kelly Wheeler, his lead is evaporated. Gary Siggelkow, see, this is what I was saying. He'll get his wave around now. Wasn't really too much of a point there racing the leaders. That's not me trying to call him out. That's just saying it is what it is. And I'm sure Greg Boydell kind of feels the same way. You know, no reason to rough it up with the leaders and try to hold your spot if, you know, realistically, when a caution comes out, you know, you're gonna have to go to the tail end of the field anyway, and you'll be back on the lead lap. So it's not like in that situation, even if he races his way back onto the lead lap, you know, in this league they give you the lap back. So it's not a necessity. It's just kind of, I believe, you know, they give the lap back to kind of cut out on that stuff, and if somebody had a tow, not worried about it, you're not at loss. At the same time, you know, you want to be respectful of the guys around. It's a tough one for Greg Boydell here. Is, you know, we'll bring this back up here one more time. And Terry Landis not being here tonight, Greg was really trying to take advantage of this and reel in that points lead, maybe get his first win here of the year, but not looking likely for the 014. When we take the green flag, we're going to have 14 laps to go. Keep an eye on the 513. Maybe he can take advantage of that high side here and get by his teammate in the 7 of Bob DeGood. But as we come out of 4, the green flag is high. It's ready to fly. 14 laps to go at Volusia Speedway. Let's go play. Bob with a big send, going to park it in front of the Librarian, man. I was worried about it maybe losing it to the high side here, but Pat, with a rough restart, Bob able to take advantage up to P2, and Pat Boyce, man, he is going to be hanging his head after that one. He is going to be disappointed in that one. Barker hoping that he can follow his friend on by, but right now Pat Boy's just shutting the door on that top shelf. Even going, half a lane further up 10 to 7. Just trying to search for something. Bob going to enter in a little bit higher. Synchronized swindle through 1 and 2. Top 5 all take the high side, and they're going to do it again here in 3 and 4. 11 laps to go. Next time by, we'll be down to 10. Kelly Wheeler has led every single one of them in that one. Lights out. Man, just no guys able to really reel him in. Pat able to stay right behind the 7 of Bob the Good, but Bob quick enough right now, not able to allowing Pat a chance to get a run here. Pat, we saw he was quick. He was holding on to P2 pretty much all night. One restart, one mistake can take that middle step away from you, and we're watching that happen now as Jeff Barker, he's trying to take that final podium step away. Can he go up and run him down? He's right on board with 5:15. Just see the top of his hand a little bit, trying not to saw on that thing as you hear him slow down. Caution out on the racetrack. The 25 of Gary Siegelcow comes down pit road. John Rayner involved as well. John Rayner was having a fantastic day in the 302. Tough break for him is have to go back and see what happened here. So John and Steve Bixler there get together a little bit. Nowhere for Siegelcow to go. He slams into the 302 and caution out, and both these guys got to take a trip down pit road. Possibly what Bob the Good needed now. Was able to even out here. Kind of slow down that gap Kelly was able to get. As you see here, let's see all of them jumping around. Bob has been slower than their leader. Not a significant amount, and maybe, being right behind him on the restart to 7 can learn a little something, or maybe catch him something here. So you can't count out Bob Good just yet. As 70, maybe an old dog there, but he's got a lot of tricks in him, that's for sure. And wouldn't be surprised here to see Bob sneak on by. Kelly Wheeler, man, he's a tough task, even for the young guns. Kelly's a guy who you expect to see at the top, towards the top of a race here when we run the 358s if he doesn't have any hiccups. Getting the 1 to green. Not sure why Pat Boyce was in front of Bob the Good. Maybe thought we were going double file here, but we're not. As the lights are off for the pace car. 7 laps left when we take the green flag as the pace car is off. And the 110 of Kelly Wheeler brings us back to the green flag. Boyce with a good jump here. Him and Bob the Good get into it. Bob, man, got those elbows out. He said this corner was mine. Bounced the librarian out, and his teammate, Jeff Barker, takes advantage. He moves into that final podium spot. And there's 6 laps to go as Kelly Wheeler long gone out front. Bob's going to need him to make 1, maybe 2 mistakes in that 110. Think about it. 0.8 of a second lead here as we come to the line. 5 to go. Bob has got to be perfect, man. He's got to make over a 10th a lap. Just got to think the way that 110's run tonight. You just don't know if it's possible. I mean, he's pulling away here from the 7. Jeff Barker's going to go to work on Bob, and you got to think without some late race shenanigans here, maybe a caution, this thing is going to go in favor of the 110, but Steve Bixler here, sitting in that 5th position here, he wants more than a top 5. He's looking downstairs, trying to get a run for 4th. He's He's ambitious. But that's opening the door for that 08-14 behind him of GJ Boydell. And if he gives Greg a run, Greg won't think twice to take that high side here as we come out of 4. 2 fingers in the air, 2 more trips around. Kelly Wheeler leads the way. That boy's going to go downstairs here, see if he can look low on the Brewerton Beast. Jeff Parker, the mare, gets a big run out of it. Now he looks to the bottom in 3 and 4, and now GJ Boydell is going to be able to go up there and sneak his way through as he gets the run off for it. He's got 5th at the line. Steve Bixler falls back to 6th. But as we go down the backstretch for the final time, Kelly Wheeler, perfect in that 110, and he is going to bring home the checkered flags at Volusia Speedway. Bob DeGood brings home P2, Jeff Barker 3rd, Greg Boydell 4th, Pat Boyce 5th, Steve Bixler 6th. The rest of the field, Armando Melgoza, John Rayner, Gary Siegelkow, Justified Vecchio rounding out the top 10, and Greg Parmley rounding out the field. There's the 110. He knows where to go. Maybe he doesn't know where to go. He drove by. He's going to do one more lap. I thought he was going to park it there on the step. All right, he's going to go around one more time. Just for S's and G's. And he's going to celebrate just a little more. That 110, he's going to be happy tonight. Well, if we take a look back, Kelly Wheeler. Now, I could be wrong. But yeah, okay. This is Kelly's 2nd race of the season here in the retreads, and a 2nd win of the season for the 110. So he's shooting a good average here at the 110, and as soon as he gets a chance to get up here in the booth, we'll talk to him and let him clear some of those thoughts here. We'll get ready to bring up the Brewerton Beast, Jeff Barker here. He's able to pounce and move on up into 3rd. I'll have to ask him here if he thought maybe he had a chance, to get 2nd through that scrum. It was a pretty close one for the Brewerton Beast, but let's go ahead. Let's bring him on up to the broadcast booth. As I needed to unmute myself. Hey, Jeff, Shaggy up here, man. You got a copy?
Hi, Shaggy.
Well, we all kind of, I'm not getting you in any trouble here, but tough luck in the heat race. We all kind of saw what happened there, and, man, you had to really go to work in the feature, but able to climb your way on up. How hard was it to do tonight?
I was just trying to stay out of trouble and have some fun. It's retreads. You know what I mean? We should be having fun and staying out of trouble.
Oh, dude, 100%. I mean, and that's honestly, you sounded perfect for saying that, because that's kind of how I promoted you guys here right before this thing going. It really is all about just having fun and having a good time. Yeah, you give out trophies and stickers, but at the end of the day, man, this is something we all enjoy. So nobody wants to go to bed angry. And, man, the way
keep our mind off the world. There's enough weird going on tonight.
Oh, yeah, no kidding, man. No kidding. Yeah, this is a nice release here. But, hey, man, you're sitting in 4th place on that last restart, and you see Bob and Pat get together a little bit. How wide did those eyes get? You think maybe about getting P2 there for a little bit?
I was worried about not being the 3rd car in the accident, actually, because I was sliding up behind them, and I had an outward trend on the car, and I don't think I could have got under them if I had to. So I'm kind of glad that they didn't stop.
Yeah, because we know if you're the 3rd car in, man, you basically block that whole high lane, and a lot of cars are going to get involved.
Yep,
so
exactly.
The fact that you snuck on through, man, that, kind of the luck you needed tonight and maybe deserved after that heat race. So congratulations, Jeff. Good run, man. Who you want to thank?
Oh, Coast to Coast Racing League, Shaggy TV. We all know who that is. I don't know why I have to keep telling you it's you. Sorry, I'm silly on Tuesdays, but Mauer Farm Management and everybody else who's involved keeping the retreads running.
Well, hey,
Geritol,
oh
Hooters.
Yeah, no kidding. Oh man, that's crazy. You're bragging on yourself here, Jeff. That's great. That's why I love you, man. Hey, great run, dude. I can't wait to talk to you again next week, brother.
All right. Take it easy, Zach.
And man, I love that guy, Jeff Barker, the Brewerton Beast. He's a character. He's a lot of fun, man. We steal him for some road races every now and then. Jeff Barker is a good time. But I'll tell you what, so is this guy. Bob, you were quick tonight, man. You know, didn't have the best finish in your heat, so you had to work your way on up. And 4 spots up to P2, dude. How's it feel?
It was fun. It was a lot of fun.
At the end there, you know, I mean, Kelly Wheeler, I mean, you know, I talked about him, and obviously, Bob, you know, you would, I think, say the same here. Kelly, even when Isaac's on the track, you know, that 110, dude, he knows how to move these things around. Could you figure out any way to try to run him down, or was he kind of just in his own realm tonight?
He was in his own realm. He was just pulling away from us, and yeah. We were chatting waiting in the waiting room, and that's what I told him. I said, I just didn't have anything for you. You were fast.
Yeah, and you know, every now and then, man, you're gonna run into people like that. But at the end of the day, Bob, your points racing here in a P2 with Terry being gone, that's really gonna help out the points. So heck of a job in that 7 tonight, Bob. Keep that head held high. That was a heck of a run. Who you want to thank, man?
Well, I want to thank the Shaggy Broadcasting Company. I want to thank Coast to Coast Racing League, Roger Craig, for putting up with all the shenanigans. I want to thank my dog who's sitting next to me and letting me pet her right now. She keeps me calm down. Yeah, that's pretty much it.
Hey, good job, Bob, here, man. One of my favorites here in the dirt, and look forward to talking to you a lot more this season. Good run.
All right, thanks.
And now we're going to bring up the man who 2 for 2 here, Kelly. Only 2 races this season, but 2 wins in that 110. And, man, what is it about you in these small blocks, man? These are your specialty.
I just get lucky every now and then.
Oh, yeah, right. Yeah, right.
That's about the truth.
Well, I'll tell man, luck, you mind sending some of that my way, because I talked about you a little bit tonight. I mean, anytime you're in these things, you know, whether it's a Thursday night, dude, you're a top 5 guy. I mean, barring something unfortunate happened to you. And what is it with these cars? You know, is it just the throttle control that you really like? I mean, what's your favorite aspect of these 358s?
Well, whenever I first started, I've ran these for quite a while, but when I first started running them, I was junk. I was terrible. And I got to talking to a lot of people that's been running them and stuff, and I've talked to some of the FTM guys, and they said the biggest thing about these cars is the throttle control. The slicker the track gets, the better you better work that throttle. Keep it under control.
Yeah, and, you know, I mean, dude, you're able to do that. I mean, we're watching you drive through the slick here going down the backstretch, and, you know, you never even tapped that wall once, but, man, how treacherous was it going down the backstretch here tonight? Not much of a groove left upstairs.
Yeah, it was kind of scary there toward the end because, like you said, there wasn't much room between me and the wall.
Well, hey, Kelly, man, congratulations. Like I say, dude, 2 for 2 here. We get you out here every Tuesday night. You might be looking at a championship one of these race or seasons, man. Congratulations. Anytime you're on the track, you're a guy we got to watch. So, heck of a job. Who you want to thank tonight?
Well, I was a season champion the last time, but I just haven't been running. I think 2 seasons ago I was a champion. So I didn't run much last season, and this is only my 2nd race this season. So, yeah, it's all right. But I got to thank my wife, like usual. I got to thank the FTM guys for letting me come and run and hang out in their Discord. And whenever I need any help at all or having trouble struggling, they're trying to help me, tell me what I need to do and what I don't need to do. So I got to give them big thanks. I got to thank DNS Side and their remodeling. Ingersoll Rand, and I got to thank you for doing your broadcasting, and I got to thank C2C for giving us a good place to race.
Well, hey, man, thank you. I appreciate the kind words. Great run tonight, Kelly. 2 for 2, man. That's awesome, and hopefully we see you back a little bit more this season.
You will. And I appreciate you giving me some good words.
Well, hey, I mean what I say. You know, I'm pretty honest up here. And in a small block race, I pretty much know where I rank against you, and you're one of the guys who I try to watch. And tonight you showed why, man. Able to drive out front even after the cautions. You know, still win by almost a second. So great job in that 110 tonight, brother.
Thank you, sir. I appreciate it.
And that's your feature winner here in the 110. Kelly Wheeler able to bring it home. And, you know, those FTM boys rubbing off on him. Maybe Anthony and those guys will say, hey, Shaggy, if your teammates aren't on, maybe you can come sit with us and you can learn something because we know you're not as good as we are. But we're going to take a quick break here on the Coast to Coast Racing Network, and we will be right back with more feature racing action here at Charlotte Motor Speedway in the Dallara DW12s. Stick around.
It's time for another edition of RSN Trackside, powered by Bob Johnson Auto Group on Rock Sports Network. Kiss on the champion. Trying to be a
bit of a hiatus, so let's get tonight when we were talking about it.
These dollars had come together to support us, and we realized no, we didn't want to use them for us. We wanted to use them to help others.
The foundation has done so much for so many people. It helps any family that has somebody, whether it be a crew member or one of the drivers, that get hurt. We can help them to get through the situation.
I was injured in a non-wing sprint car accident that broke my neck and left me with a spinal cord injury. I was in the hospital 8 months, and that got really, really expensive. So having that extra help to help push me and my family forward was a big deal.
I was involved in a pretty gnarly sprint car crash. Found out my brain was swelling and bleeding. Pelvic bone was broken. I had 2 cracked vertebrae on my back, and I was in the ICU a little over a week. The Steve King Foundation reached out to my parents. We received a donation from them. Immediately, they started me on what's called neurofeedback, and insurance did not cover the neurofeedback appointments. So we received another donation from the Steve King Foundation. It really helped a lot, and I just want to say thank you. Thank you from the bottom of my heart to the Steve King Foundation for everything that they have done for me. This last Sunday, I got to turn laps in my modified here. That was my first laps back in a race car since the accident, and I truly believe that if it wasn't for the Steve King Foundation, I wouldn't be able to do that or be where I'm at today.
Yes, Steve's death is the reason the foundation exists, but it's Steve's life, and it's the lives of racers everywhere, is the reason we're able to do the work we do.
We're back live on the Coast to Coast Racing Network. It's Charlotte Motor Speedway here in the Dallara DW12s. And Gary Singletown currently atop the charts here. As we get set, we'll go into qualifying here any minute now. And we'll have a 25-lap feature here at Charlotte Motor Speedway. Remember, caution laps do not count this evening. 25 green flag laps, and big shout out to Maurer Farm Management for picking up the sponsorship here this season. And man, I just noticed no Bill Calder here. I mean, sometimes he doesn't show up for the dirt, but no Bill Calder here in the 325. So Bill, if you're out there watching, man, I hope everything's all good. We miss you here this evening. Love having that 325 out here. And we've seen it before where they've accidentally had them qualifying all at the same time. It's all fixed here this evening. And Steve Bixler, the first car out on the track. Let's follow the 75 here. The snap-on machine. We'll pay attention to the bottom of the screen. You know, green is your best personal sector. Yellow, you don't want that. That's slower than your best. And purple, that's what you want. You want it to look like that 75 spoiler. And you want those fastest personal sectors out of anyone here as the 75 comes across the stripe and he takes the green flag for lap number 1. Excuse me, you probably heard the distorted voice there. Shaggy got some hiccups. Steve Bixler. No surprise there, purple through sector 1, but that got taken away fairly fast here, and I believe it's probably, no, it's Greg Boydell. I was going to say it was maybe Tim Chapman because Tim was pretty close to him. But GJ Boydell, purple. You know what that means. Quick time for the 014 24.6 is, let's see. Car's going to lighten up here. It's only going to get faster in these Dallaras. Somebody takes purple sector 1 away from the 014. Let's see, rolls through 3 and 4. Terry Landis moves up to P2. Steve Bixler takes the pole for now. But for how long? Not for long. It was Tim Chapman, then Bob Curtis. Now it's the librarian. Pat Boyce takes the pole, but looky here. Mike Cramner, purple from sector 1. The Desert Demon takes P1, but can Cramner steal it? Let's see what Mike can do. P2 for Mike Cramner. The Desert Demon currently P1. The last car coming across here, Greg Parmalee. Where does he come home? P10. Armando Melgoza not putting in a time it doesn't look like is yet to set foot on the track. And Well, just like that, the Desert Demon, Terry Landis, he takes quick time here at the Charlotte Motor Speedway. As you know, Terry Landis, voting day here, don't know what juiced this guy up here, but let's figure it out. Let's see what has the 161 so amped up here. Terry Landis, quick time, man. Where'd that come from? You're a racer, not a qualifier.
Yeah, I know, right? This is crazy.
Well, you know, I mean, you cut half the workout for you. What do you do now in the feature? You're used to having to pass people. What's the strategy?
Just flat out keep on going.
All right, Terry, man, we're looking forward to it. You think we're gonna? Well, hopefully, you know what? Actually, we'll send you down. I'll talk about it
Yeah.
myself. I don't want to jinx it here.
Don't
Go give
say
him
it.
back, Terry.
Don't say it. All right,
won't,
brother.
I won't.
Thanks.
As I think he sensed what I was gonna say, but hopefully, you know, we'll do the dance. We'll keep him away here tonight, and hopefully we can get some long green flag runs in, because that's exactly what Terry Landis needs if he wants to be successful here this evening. You know, if you keep retightening up, the field keeps bunching up behind you, it makes it that much harder for you. So he knows he just wants to get out front, try to let this thing kind of shape up to a Terry Landis style race here, and try to get another W. Is, you know what, actually here real quick, Shaggy forgot to do something, but he just changed it. Let's take a look at these points real quick before we look at the starting lineup. Greg Boydell with a slim lead over Terry Landis. Oh wait, no, that is not slim. That's a huge lead. Shaggy can't read. And that's not Terry Landis either. That's John Rayner. I was looking at the wrong computer screen. Greg Boydell with a huge lead, 61 points. Absolute huge lead. Greg has been almost perfect. Well, Greg's going to look for a little more of that tonight here. Starting on the pole, the 161, the Desert Demon, Terry Landis. And to his outside, the 25 of Gary Siegelcow. Inside of row number 2, the 70 of Mike Cramner. And to his outside, the Librarian, Pat Boyce. Bob Curtis in the 012 to the inside of row number 3. And to his outside in the 302, John Rayner. Tim Chapman to the inside of row number 4. And to his outside in the 014, your current points leader, G.J. Boydell. Steve Bixler to the inside of row number 5. We call him the mayor. And to his outside in the 4, Greg Parmalee. You see Armando Melgoza there listed, but Armando not making the call here this evening, not yet on track. Not sure if we'll see him join us a little later. Maybe he'll pull out. Who knows here, but we've got 25 laps to find a winner here at Charlotte Motor Speedway, and hopefully the guys are patient. Long way to go, but you know, there is a fine line here. If you're in the back, something happens in front of you, you can't be too patient, because if you get a long green flag run, that could ruin your race. So it really is a fine line, and driver's going to have to figure out where that line is and try to walk it as best they can this evening. If you're out there watching, let us know who you're rooting for. Hit that like button and hit that subscribe button. As we roll through 3 and 4, the Desert Demon has the inside. The yellow jacket of Gary Siegelcow has the outside. The Steve King Foundation pace car will pull off coming out of 4. And we're going to go up to the flag stand here as the green flag is high. It's ready to fly. 25 laps to go. Play at Charlotte Motor Speedway. Terry Landis leads the field. Oh, Gary Siegelcow and Mike Cramner involved early on. And that did not take long for the 25 and the 70 machine, as we are under caution right away here at the Charlotte Motor Speedway. So let's try to go up into that aerial cam. Couldn't tell if Gary came down or Mike came up. So let's try and see here as we go to the blimp camera. Not getting a very good one from the side. Let's go to the Chapman Racing drone. And it's a bit of net code. I mean, Mike comes up a little bit, but he definitely looked like he was holding his line. I mean, Gary didn't give him much room. And, well, with these old cars, you know, they don't necessarily update them like they do the other ones. And sometimes the hitboxes aren't the best. And you see two guys there who clearly, you know, not trying to get too aggressive there, but just the hitbox didn't like it, and we got a wreck here early on. Let's take this time here to try and pull up someone. Let's bring up the librarian of Pat Boyce. Let's see here. Hey, Pat, Shaggy up in the booth, man. You got a copy?
I got a copy.
Well, hey, man, sometimes, you know, when you guys run these things, you run into some fuel issues. What's the fuel looking like? Can you guys go the whole way tonight?
Yeah, it shows 50 laps.
Oh, okay, so not even an issue here, even if we
Nope.
get some caution. So what's the thinking here, Pat? Do you think tires will matter at the end, or is it more track position than anything?
I think it's track position. I ran, I don't know, probably 30 or 40 laps in practice, and the tires didn't seem to go down much.
Well, hey, man, sitting P2 right now, good spot. Hopefully you can hang on to that track position, and hopefully we're talking to you at the end of this thing. Pat, give him help.
All right, thank you.
Hang with me here, Pat. I'm trying to find the Salty Dogs. There we are. I'll send him back home, and Pat is back home. And the lights are still on in the pace car, so Shaggy did his job. Nothing stressful. No jams, and you know, I never bring him up either because he's my old man. I don't play the favorites, but we'll see how this goes. Next caution. As long as, you know, maybe Tim's in a good mood here. We'll see what his race thoughts are like if he's not involved in the next accident. He's somebody who we don't hear from that often. I don't believe there are some drivers who I would love to talk to every now and then, but I don't ever really see Greg sit in the Discord. Anybody who's in this race, you go back and watch these. If you are ever interested in these mid-race interviews, just make sure you're in that Discord. I'll find you. I'll pull you up. And try to get your thoughts on things here as we get ready to go double file. Take the green flag. Gary Sigelkow still on pit road. Mike Cramner, we don't even see him sitting on pit road. Not sure if he left the session. Hopefully not. But early wreck there for Mike Cramner. He's probably not too pumped. Yeah, we see it says out beside his name, so that's where the curiosity is taking effect. I don't see that. The session may have snuck by me. As we get ready to take the green flag here, Gary Sigelkow still on pit road, so he'll be looking for a wave around if we do indeed get another caution. As the Steve King Foundation pace car pulls off, the 161 of Terry Landis is set to bring us back to the green flag. Only made it a couple hundred yards the last time. Let's see if we can do a little better here as we're back underway. Terry Landis with a great restart. Ooh, able to slot in line. John Rayner forces his way down in front of the 014, and Tim Chapman now looking to the outside of the 014 as battle on Pat Boyce trying to run down the 161, but they wreck behind, and well, we did make it further, but not too much further here, and John Rayner finds himself laying on his lid, and he is going to have to tow in the 302 as we are back under caution once again here at Charlotte Motor Speedway. Ooh, it looks like John possibly came down. Now we're going to try to get a better view of this here. And we are going to make sure that the TV isn't on in the background. My apologies if you could hear that on the break. I had to see how the election's going. Let's go ahead. Let's go to that Chapman Racing drone camera and let's slow her down. So John's that white car. Couldn't tell. It didn't look like he gave him a bump there. So no harm, no foul. As that's Bob Curtis in the red machine. John gets a run coming out of 2. Gets really close. They don't make contact. And now it looks like, yeah, John just comes down. Not too sure why. But him and the 012 get together. Bob DeGood involved. Tim Chapman possibly getting damaged there as well. Definitely getting damaged. You see the right front go away. And 4 cars involved in an accident early on. And Tim Chapman able to come in and get that quick repair. That's why I always condition things. Maybe we'll get a word with him later if it's going better. But you never want to pull a driver up during possible frustration time. But Mike Cramner still with that out. I do believe the 70 machine called it a night. So tough break from Mike Cramner. Early night. And he's got to get ready to go back at it next week. We should go double file this time by, I believe. But you never know. They may extend it a little bit just to make sure all guys are back on the lead lap. So you don't want to count your chickens before they hatch here. But drivers are starting to think about going double file here. Pat Boyce has to hope we get a long green flag run here so he can try to work his way back around the 161. Lights are off on the Steve King Foundation pace car, and we will double up and we will go green this time by. Like I say here, long way to go. Caution laps are not counting here this evening. Not on a time crunch, but we know you want to see a green flag show here, but I say it every time. These endings do not, they do not disappoint. The endings are going to be phenomenal. So bear with us here. Stick around. Chew through the tough stuff. And we got the fine meat coming to you here at the end. Terry Landis hopefully wants to taste that with us here on that top step. Able to qualify out front. So far, not long enough for anybody to really mount a charge here. Caution after caution. And be set to take the third start here as the Steve King Foundation pace car pulls off. And we go back up to the flag stand as we see the green flag is high. It's ready to fly. We'll be back underway at Charlotte Motor Speedway. Terry Landis with a great jump in the 161 yet again. As we try to see here, Gary Sigelkow makes the move on Greg Parmalee. Tim Chapman trying to follow him around the top shelf. And it's a little squirrely there. They think about going through wide. Tim gets really close to that wall. No arm, no foul. Able to run for now. Pat Boyce tries to reel down your leader. Pat Boyce with a big run coming down the front stretch. He's going to the high side, but thinks best of it. Drops right back in line. As we go down the backstretch, going to suck in line, try to get some draft. They're battling in the back. Greg Parmalee to the outside of Tim Chapman, but right is there. We got a battle for the lead. The librarian looks to the top shelf. Pat trying to get close, but you got to be careful doing that. You know, you got the net code. You don't want to wreck each other. And Oh, man, speaking of wrecking each other, hold on, boys. We are getting close all over the racetrack is side by side going down the backstretch for the lead. That's got to give it up for now. Not able to do it. He's got to really suck up, maybe allow a little bit of a gap to form between him and the 161 and try to use that draft to go around. Go down the backstretch here. Let's watch him. Man, they're pack racing back here in the back. Wow, 5 under a blanket as Tim Chapman looks to the outside of the 25 car of Gary Siegelcow. Not able to get it done now. He's got to slot back in line. See him think about fanning out here all over. The guys in the second pack need to work together. The guys up front doing a great job of just lining up and being patient. The second group, you may get too racy. You may end up losing those guys as Tim Chapman finds himself on the high side. Greg Boydell now looking under him, and Greg Parker trying to follow suit. Tim wised up here, going to get in the back, realize, hey man, you know, right now everybody's running pretty aggressive. I'm right here. No rush, just need to keep these guys in my sights. Make sure I possibly survive this big one as Steve Bixler. He may have the best view in the house. Let's see what it looks like in that 75. Steve's very smooth on that wheel. That's what keeps up the speed. We hear him burp out of the throttle here. He just wants to stay right here for now. Let those two go at it. Let them work on it here. Oh man, Bob Curtis here. In front of Tim Chapman. These guys have really kind of fallen off a little bit. Greg Boydell. Oh, Bob Curtis and Greg Parmalee get involved. Tim Chapman ramps his way on in there. And we've got a lot of tore up race cars here at the Charlotte Motor Speedway. We kind of saw how it broke down there. I believe that was... What's that blue machine? Wasn't Pat Lewis? Wasn't Bob Curtis? Was it Craig? We'll go back. Let's try to find a caution flag. And yeah, it is Greg Parmalee. Get some help from John Rayner in the 302. Can't bump draft in these, but they tried, and well, it didn't work out. Big wreck here. And lots of cars tore up here at Charlotte late. All right, well, we got a nice little green flag run in here. Let's see what the man in third place thought about it. Hey, Mayor, Shaggy up here. You got a copy?
Yeah, I got you, Shaggy.
Hey, man, you're running smooth there, P3, and, you know, I could hear you cracking out of that throttle. Is kind of just where you want to hang out right now?
Yeah, I'm happy to run right where I'm at. I thought maybe if we could all get in the line here, me and the Desert Demon and the Librarian, if we get in the line here, maybe we could get away from them guys behind us. But now it's a new race here with this caution.
Yeah, you know, you look up in the mirror, you see that big yellow machine. What's the plan here? Do we think about getting aggressive, trying to pass the guys in front, or do we just try to stay where we are for now?
Well, I wish I had the answer to that question. I'm not sure there, Shaggy. So I don't know. Maybe if we keep going like we were here, you know, maybe we can make this work between us three up here. But it's going to be tough with Gary back there. He's pretty good. He's pretty fast.
Yeah, well, hey, man, so is that 75 here this evening, up 6 spots. Let's see if you can get a couple more here. Good luck, Steve.
All right, thanks, Shaggy.
And the mayor sitting up in third. He is your hard charger, up 6 spots, started 9th. So good run for Steve Bixler. So he'd love to go ahead and win one here, maybe get a P2, but Steve's going to be smart here. He knows you got to race for the long haul. Long way to go here at the Charlotte Motor Speedway, so no rush there for the 75 here as we go across the line. Lights do go off, and we're going to double file. We're going to go double file here as we get set to go back racing here. It should be 15 laps to go when we take the green flag. As the Desert Demon rolls at a nice pace here into turn 3, he's going to follow that Steve King Foundation pace car. Before you know it, that sucker's going to turn off coming out of 4. And Terry Landis is going to be looking to bring us back to the green flag. Only 6 cars currently up here in the front pack. Bob Curtis racing his way around. John Rayner on his way out of the pits team trying to hightail and get back up, but they're probably going to need another restart to try to get this thing in. Well, maybe saw that coming. Talked about Bob trying to catch up, and Bob gets into the back of the 37, Tim Chapman, and now we get a caution here once again. And Timmy's going to have to drive that thing around if it can, but we saw it here. Caution out at the Charlotte Motor Speedway, and well, sometimes, guys just don't necessarily have that relative on, and let's go on board. I think we have a pretty good idea of what happened there. You can start to see the drivers now. No checkup, and gets into the back of the field here, and caution comes out once again. As Terry Landis finally catches his way up to the pace car. And Greg Boydell, your points leader, finds his way back up inside the top 3 for the first time. It's currently got Tim Chapman listed as your leader, but that should change here. Not too sure if and when it will change. I don't believe he never went past Terry Landis or any of those guys. I don't think so. Let's see if this cycles out. There we go. Worried there for a second. But all's right here in the iRacing world, and Terry Landis still has his lead up front. As cars try to find out where they're supposed to go here. And we Yeah, lights go off now, and we should double up here, and we'll have 14 to go when we take the green flag. So still not halfway yet, still a long ways to go here at the Charlotte Motor Speedway. As no matter what happens tonight here in the USA, you can find me here tomorrow on my computer. We'll be doing Hometown Heroes here on the Coast to Coast Racing Network. So trust me, don't buy into the panic. Yeah, maybe some stuff may happen, whatever, but at the end of the day, we're all friends. We all need to get along, and that's the only way things get better. No stupid president is gonna fix your problems. Get off your butt, fix them yourself, and get along with everyone around you and stop being such a butthead all the time here as we get ready to take the green flag. You see the green flag is high. It's ready to fly. Terry Landis leads us back one more time. 14 laps to go, excuse me, at the Charlotte Motor Speedway. Watch him come down the backstretch here. Tim Chapman, the first person to pop out of line, tries to get beside the librarian. Pat Boyce is the front four, single file. Pat trying to make that 5 here, trying to creep on up. And Tim Chapman, he's got to give up. He's got to fall back in line. Is the 41. He gets a lot of draft. Gets a big pull. There's a little contact. We saw the sparks fly. Greg Boydell going down, sucking off the side of the 75. Oh man, still a long way to go here, but Greg Boydell moves his way on up to P2. Tim Chapman thinks about going to the high side over John Rayner. He can't make it work. All the while, the Desert Demon looks up in the rearview mirror. He loves what he sees. 12 more laps to go at the Charlotte Motor Speedway. Steve Bixler trying to make that pink machine find a little speed here, trying to get back around the 014. He knows he's got a quick car behind him in the 302 of John Rayner, in the 37 is hungry as well. Tim Chapman trying to come up. Gary Siegelkow, he's lost the draft a little bit. Not sure something's going on with that 25. Maybe he got a little bit of damage, but the 25 not able to keep the pace here of the front guys, as you see 2 by 2 here. For second, third, fourth, and fifth. Pat Boyce trying to get involved. Greg Boydell pinches down Steve Bixler. They rub a little bit. Tim Chapman moves up to the top, and he sees it. He takes P2. The 37 comes with a big move after there's contact in front of him, and now he's got to put his head down. He's got to try to run down the 161. Terry Landis has been lights out up front. Can Tim find a way to run down the Desert Demon? Terry Landis not letting these guys pull him in at all, staying at that 0.67, 0.68. Tim and those guys just got to be as smooth as they can here. Draft is not really going to help them out, as you're seeing. Just got to try to, hope that the 161 of Terry Landis maybe has a little hiccup, or you don't want to caution, though. You don't want to let, risk the field tightening up here. As here comes the 25 of Gary Siegelkow. He's turning it on at the right moment. Here comes the Yellow Jacket. John Rayner looking upstairs, going down the backstretch. Tim Chapman trying to stay smooth on the bottom, just trying to do what he can to run down Terry Landis. He gets a little sideways coming off before. He can barely hold on to it, but he finds a way. Here comes Gary Siegelkow upstairs. And now Tim's got a hold his line on the bottom. Here comes the Yellow Jacket in the 25, Gary Siegelkow. Gary with a big run down the backstretch has the spot for now, but Tim going to claw his way back on the inside through 3 and 4. As they come out of 4, Terry Landis takes 6 to go, side by side for P2. Terry's got this thing up to almost a second as the guys battle hard behind him. This is the battle on the track for second here as Gary goes down, tries to get some side draft. They get so close. How do they not touch? Oh, man. Let's go to the aerial cam here. As Gary Siegelkow, he sees the opening in the bottom. He gets down there. Tim's got to secede here at this point and realize, hey, 5 laps to go. Let's just fall in line. Maybe Gary's a little quicker than I am. Maybe I can use him to run him down. No, they make a little bit of contact. Tim looks to the outside here. Now the 302 of John Rayner tries to look down there, tries to fit in. Tim's going to shut the door. 4 to go at Charlotte Motor Speedway. Steve Bixler had to back out of the throttle as John Rayner almost got up into him when he went up and tried to shut the door. And the mayor finds himself sitting P5 here with 4 to go. Can he find a way to get up into the top 3? 3 and 4, 3 to go this time for the Desert Demon. Gary Siegelkow trying to be smooth here. Tim right behind him. They are slowly running down Terry, but I just don't know if it's enough time. Terry had that thing to 9/10. They've got it down to 8. And that's just by staying in line here. But, hey, they got to get to about within 0.5 to really start getting pull off of Terry in front. And just not going to have enough time. Just 2 fingers in the air, 2 more trips around. This is where, if you're Tim, do you like third or do you try to get aggressive? Maybe risk wrecking here going for second. You're running out of time. John Rayner thinking about looking low. Man, oh man, as we go through 3 and 4, Terry Landis, you see him, takes the white flag. It's in the air. 1 more trip around. We got to watch this battle for P2 and P3. Tim shuts the door on John Rayner for now. Is he going to get a big run coming down the backstretch on the 25 of Gary Siegelkow? He looks to the high side. John Rayner peeks up there with him. Tim Chapman. Is he going to get it? Doesn't look like it here as we come out across the start-finish line. Terry Landis takes P1. Your victory here at Charlotte Motor Speedway. Gary Siegelkow second. Tim Chapman rounds out the podium. John Rayner 4th. And Steve Bixler 5th. I'll tell you what. Hats off to these guys. We know there's been some cautions in these. A little bit there to start off, but boy, man, they turned it on at the end. Good hard racing. Those guys weren't driving like you-know-what either. I mean, they're battling, passing each other, and boy, we had a good finish here on the Coast to Coast Racing Network. And Terry Landis goes flag to flag in the 161. Congrats to the Desert Demon. We're going to give these guys a minute or 2 to catch their breath here. We'll see if we can get a word with our top 3 here. Is my old man, Tim Chapman, bringing home P3. We'll try to get a word with him first. And I see him down there. We'll pull him up. We'll do it the easy way here. Is bring him up into the broadcast booth. Hey, Pops, your son here. You got a copy?
Yeah, I got you.
Well, hey, finally able to bring home a podium, but not after an uneventful race. You get collected under caution, and you have a few hiccups, but able to put them behind you and work your way on up through the field. How'd the car feel?
I'm just now starting to get used to driving these things. They're a handful.
Well, you're battling hard there with Gary Siegelkow. Do you think you guys maybe waited too long to line up and try to run down Terry, or, were you kind of where you thought you should be?
I tried to line, or, tried to get in line, but just didn't seem like we were catching him, were we?
Yeah, those last couple laps when you finally lined up behind Gary, you were pulling him about a tenth a lap, but you just wouldn't have had enough time. You guys waited a little bit too long. But at the end of the day, you put it in the notes, you learn, and you're able to bring home a P3 after the series of unfortunate events here. So good run, Dad. Congratulations. Who you want to thank?
First off, I want to thank Mauer Farm Management, for being a sponsor here. That means a lot. And well, thank you for putting on the broadcast, and to Roger and everybody in the league who does the work behind the scenes.
All right. Well, congratulations, Dad. Good run on the P3, and tell Grandma I'm bringing the dog out tomorrow when I go grocery shopping in the afternoon.
All right. Have a good evening.
We'll send him back home. I went out to see Grandma this morning, but I was lazy. Shaggy didn't feel like going shopping, so he's going to do it tomorrow. I'm quite the procrastinator, and I'll tell you what, this guy don't procrastinate and getting his way up to the front. Gary, man, you know, you can't be thinking after the history that we've had here that thing's going to stay green flag there at the end. You know, you race your way up into the top 5, but hey, man, it does. And you had a quick car, but just ran out of time in that yellow jacket tonight.
Yeah, I could have used about another 2 laps.
Yeah, you know, I mean, what is it? What is it with you, Gary? I mean, I talked to you about it. It's this car, man. You're so comfortable with getting so close to people, man, and just manipulating that high side. You can do it up top or on the bottom. What is it about this car that you like so much?
I like the speed. I like how I can feel what's going on and with the air around it, and I love these cars.
It shows, man. I mean, every time you get into one of these things, you know, we're talking about you at the end, and no surprise, here we were again. You said it, a couple more laps, and I mean, once you guys finally lined up, you were running him down, but just ran out of time. Congratulations, Gary. Another great run for that 25 machine. Who you want to thank?
Mauer Farms Management for doing the sponsor on this. I'd also like to thank Amity Construction. They're the guys I brought on for the 358s on Thursday nights. You, Shaggy, for doing the broadcast. I always go back and listen to you. I'm trying to learn the patience thing.
I'll tell you what, man. Tonight, dude, it was a great drive. I don't put anything on you tonight. This is phenomenal. Man, you scared me a couple times when you go back and watch this. You and Greg Boydell, man, the way you can suck up on people and get that side draft, man, I'm so scared to do it in these things. Man. You guys do such a good job in that, man. Yeah, I'm learning something from you two, so I owe you a thank you.
I just listen to your. He needs to be a little more patient. I know he's aggressive, and yes, I am aggressive on asphalt. So.
But hey, sometimes you got to be, and, you know, maybe tonight pans out, you know, maybe not aggressive early enough, but you get up to P2, and at the end of the day, that's a great run, Gary. So congratulations, man, and I look forward to a lot more of these.
Yeah, me too. It's been a while.
Yeah, been too long, Gary. Hopefully I talk to you again next week too, brother.
Yeah, thank you. Have a good night.
You as well.
Thank you.
Gary Sigelkow, your P2 finisher, and now we're going to bring up the man who – Terry, I don't know if this has happened yet in one of these things. Flag to flag in that Yoo-hoo machine, and how's it feel, dude? I mean, in the beginning, caution after caution, but there at the end, dude, you have a long green flag run, you got to strut your stuff.
Yeah, I was worried about the cautions, and I was watching my relative and saw Greg coming up, and I was like, oh no. And then Pat, and we were all racing great, man. Like I said to Pat, I had to keep watching my mirror. He was really, close on the outside. I didn't want to push up into him. But then when we got some green runs in, the car just got quicker and quicker, it seemed.
Yeah, you know, you talked a little bit there about you battling Pat. And, I mean, he's got to do what he's got to do. He's got to try to pinch you down a little bit. How hard is it to hold that thing still on the bottom and hold your line?
Oh, very hard, because you don't want to glance over at the mirror, because then you lose your spot on the track. So then you just got to keep holding it down and trying not to push out, but it's really hard.
Yeah, you know, my driver's ed teacher always said, you know, the car goes where your eyes go. So if you look over, you know, you start to drift. You're exactly right, man. So you got to focus out that front windshield. And, dude, you were able to do that tonight. Hit your marks. Never saw you clip that apron once. You had a lot of speed. Congratulations, my man. Big win. Who you want to thank?
Thanks, Shaggy. You, of course, for putting us on. And yeah, you're right. I kept it off the bottom line for once. But
that's been your kryptonite, if we're being honest. You know, I see you
Yeah.
clip that thing once a race, and man, here in the slow mo, we're seeing you get real close to it, especially in 1 and 2, dude. But you ace that.
Yeah, thanks. Yeah, I was watching, keeping my wing, the left wing, try and keep it at the line there. That way, it'll be all right with the tires. But yeah, it was a good race. And yeah, I'd like to thank you and Farm Management, because without them, we wouldn't be able to put it on. Galen's Homegrown Popcorn, 15% off. We put the word cart in there. What else? KSR, Boys Back to Shop, Yoo-Hoo, Kreitz Oval Track Parts. They got a big deal going on after Thanksgiving. This first Saturday after Thanksgiving is their flea market, if you get down that way. And then, what I miss? Oh, C2C putting it on, and my wife Judy.
I may have to go check that thing out. Did you say that's
Oh,
this
yeah.
Saturday?
Yeah, it's a Saturday after Thanksgiving.
Okay, all
It
right.
start.
Yeah.
It's
You know
starts
me,
at
I'm
like.
not too far away, so yeah, I may have to go check that thing out, see what's sitting around up there.
Oh yeah, you might be able to buy yourself a micro or something.
Yeah, yeah, you'll have to talk to the driver of the 37 about that. But hey,
Yeah.
man, good win here tonight, Terry. Congratulations, and man, I hope I get a lot more from you this season.
Heck yeah, Shaggy. I appreciate it, and I'll try and be there.
All right, and did you thank Judy tonight?
I did thank Judy tonight.
All right,
I'll
okay,
thank her again.
That slipped. All right, I couldn't remember, but yeah, you're lucky. All right, congratulations, Terry. Good run, man.
All right, thank you.
And with that, here we're gonna wrap it up. Got a busy Tuesday evening. Get your TVs on, pop your popcorn, and remember, we're all in this together. At the end of the day, red or blue, it's just me and you. That's what I always say. You know, we're in it together. So at the end of the day, you can't hang your head. We do it together. We keep each other happy, not the government. They don't do it for us. So with that, Shaggy's going to sign off here on the Coast to Coast Racing Network. Thanks for joining us here. Probably the best asphalt race of the season. Terry goes flag to flag, dominates in the Yoo-Hoo machine, and chocolate water proves why it is the superior drink. And with that being said, I am Shaggy signing off here on the Coast to Coast Racing Network. On behalf of all the admins and Roger Craig, we say thank you for tuning in. And I will be back here tomorrow for Hometown Heroes. Tune in, 7:45 Eastern, and I'll be on the call. Have a good evening.